We're live.
I think we're live. What you got on your mind?
Boats and hoes. I'm just playing, man. What's on your mind, man?
Life,
Life.
man. Reinventing myself.
Reinvention. What's that mean to you, bro?
Man,
What's reinventing mean?
I think everybody needs to reinvent themselves. You don't have to wait till you're in a midlife crisis to do it. I think I'm just in a place where I want to get better. I want to be more knowledgeable. I want to be more I want to just bring my business acumen to a different level. Everything that I do, I want to improve in. And so I'm at a place where I feel like I just reinvent myself. You know?
Yeah. Reinvention is getting clear on standards, expectations,
Where you want to go.
It's the thing is no boat ever leaves the dock without a set destination in mind. And if it doesn't have a set destination, it's just going to be roaming the seas.
Yeah.
Right.
Going in circles.
Same thing in life, bro. If we don't have a destination set on a clear direction or clear path on how to get to where we want to go, we're never going to get there, man. I think that's one thing people fail to do is put a target in place, because they lack clarity and vision of who they want to become, where they want to go, what type of life they want.
I even think being specific. People lack specificity.
Something like that.
Specificity. Like when you think about where you want to go, okay, cool. We can have a destination in mind, but what color do you want the house? What trim do you want on the car? Like, I think we need to get specific about what we want. And so, like, lately I've been telling my wife, let's dream. Let's start to get a vision board up at our home where our kids get to see the type of life that we want to live in the next 3 to 5 years. Like, what do we want down to, like, the color of the freaking shoes that we wear, Yep. Just being super specific about that. Because I think we could just say we want to go somewhere. Yeah, I want to make money. I want a nice house. But if you're not specific, will you ever really achieve that?
The clearer your vision is, the simpler, I'm not going to say the easier, but the simpler it's going to be to get to that destination. The cool thing is we have control of everything that happens in our life. And, we're mentored and coached by Patrick Bet-David. Many of you watching, that name, very familiar. He has the #1 YouTube channel on YouTube for entrepreneurs. And he's currently taking on the titans of the news media industry, CNN, CNBC, Fox News. He wants to take them out as an unbiased news source.
Yeah.
But he made a post to us in our leadership group the other day, and I'm going to read it to you guys. He says, alphas find each other.
This is good. Take notes.
Bitter people find each other. Entitled people find each other. Positive people find each other. Big thinkers find each other. Those who blame the world find each other. Critical thinkers find each other. Those who can reason find each other. Criminals find each other. Party animals find each other. Gamers find each other. Those who believe in God find each other. Atheists find each other. Complainers find each other. Your circle is a direct reflection of you. You attract who you relate to. And he goes on to mention, he said, I like my circle to be driven, competitive, able to reason, fun, loyal, supportive, while constantly in the hunt for their next milestone. If you don't like your circle, start by changing your mindset. Then identify which types of people you want in your circle. Eventually, your circle will upgrade.
That's so good. That's such a powerful statement that we just read right there.
Too many people right now, their only friends are the people they went to high school with. It's like, bro, you're 30 years old and you're still hanging out with people you went to high school with.
Right.
You don't think y'all grew at all?
Yeah.
You grew in the same direction?
Right.
Like, you didn't even know who you wanted to be in high school, right? So it's becoming very clear on the standards you have for those people in your life, and then hold them accountable to meet that standard, because that's your inner circle. He goes on to say that we were training on it. You have acquaintances, right? You have former running mates, and then you have current running mates.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of acquaintances. That's just people in your life, pass by. Hey, what's going on, John? How you doing? You at the gas station every day. That's an acquaintance, not necessarily a friend. Then you got the former running mates or people that you may have been in business with before, co-workers, colleagues before. That was your former running mates. And then you have those current running mates that are in the fight, in the arena of life with you, helping pushing you and drive you and empowering you to become the next best version of yourself. And that's who you got to pay attention to. Who is your current running mate in life? Who is helping you get to the next level, or are they trying to pull you down and be the whiner, the complainer, the blamer, the negativity that's dragging you down?
And just because you had a former running mate that was your boy or the person, your ride or die, the person that you really counted on, doesn't mean they have to stay with you forever.
Correct.
We had a
seasons.
We had a pastor that came to church a long time ago. He said, not everybody is supposed to stay in your life. Some people are just supposed to be rocket boosters for your journey, right? They help you get to a certain place, and then they're supposed to fall off. They're meant to fall off. And I think a lot of times people want to hang on to people that are in their life forever because of whatever reason. They don't want to lose people. They don't want to feel like, they've outgrown them. But sometimes we need to I did a Facebook post today, said 5 things that 18-year-olds need to start doing immediately. One of them was keep your circle tight and let go of the friends that are pulling you down and pulling you outside of where you want to be,
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'm in 100% agreement with that. Is that, and I think the older you get, the wiser you become, the tighter that circle is going to be. Because you're growing. The things we know now, we didn't know 10, 15, 20 years ago. Right. We didn't even know 6 months ago, right? So as we start to learn, we're like, okay, this is who I want to become. The clarity, the clearer you become on what that next milestone is, what that next best version of you is, it's going to require different standards, higher standards. Sure. And those current people that are in your current circle, they're going to have to rise up to meet those new standards, or else they're going to get left behind. And now everybody else that comes on board is going to meet the new high standards. Same thing with building our team in our industry. Is the same leader I was 5 years ago.
It's not the same who you are right now.
Not who we are. The same standards we had 5 years ago is not the same standards we had today. So each time we elevate our thinking and our way of life and our standards for our team, we're going to rise up. Not everybody is going to meet those new standards, but those few that do, that's our circle.
Right.
And then all the new people that we bring onto the team, they don't know anything but the new standards. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
it goes in line with the reinvention.
Correct.
Reinventing yourself every year, getting to that different level where you're a better you, better father, husband, brother, better pastor, better preacher, teacher, communicator, better businessman, right? I think we all need to achieve for being better always, never staying the same, because if you're staying the same, you're dying.
Yes.
You're staying the same, you're dying, you're withering away.
I just told my grandmother that. I called her right before this.
You told your grandmother she stays the same, she's dying?
I did. well, I worded it differently because today's her 75th birthday.
Got it.
Happy birthday, Granny. She's 75, and I asked her, I said, are you moving around? What are you doing? She said, honey, I'm always on the go. And she's a little Southern belle from Savannah, Georgia,
there
right?
You go.
And I said, Granny, you got to stay moving.
Yeah.
You got to keep the blood flowing, and you got to keep moving forward, because the moment you stop moving forward, you start dying off.
Start going backwards. You don't use it, you lose it.
And I see that in people. If you see the older people that are out there doing yoga, that are walking every single morning, that you see 90-year-old, 100-year-old people out there driving cars, but then you see a 70-year-old that they look like they're about to pass away.
They can't do anything.
It's because when they retired, they chose the life to sit on the couch and do nothing, while the other person goes out dancing on Friday nights. You know what I'm saying? They stay busy, they stay active. And our body is energy, and energy has to stay in motion.
Has to keep moving, for sure.
And it's man, I love life, and knowing that every day we find out more and more details about longevity of life and how we can get better as human beings and truly live that life of significance and by pouring into other people. And that's one reason why we have this podcast, is we just want to pour into people, man. It's we're not monetizing this channel. We're not getting paid to do this. We're taking our time away from
Right.
our business, our families, to come and just hopefully shed some guidance and some light on maybe something that you're going through in your life that we can help assist and help you navigate those rough waters of life, my friends. But what else is on your mind, Mark?
Speaking about a life of significance, there was a box office hit that just took place. Literally took the world by storm. No promotion, no marketing. It literally just popped on the scenes, and it outpaced some of the main Hollywood movies that are out right now. It literally killed them, knocked them out of the water.
Yeah. I couldn't sleep at all Sunday night. I couldn't sleep at all.
Yeah.
This movie, guys, it's a must-see.
Crazy.
It's a must-see. It's going to be a tough movie for some of you to watch.
Hard. Gut-wrenching.
Hard. The one thing I will say is there's no vulgar language.
Mm-hmm.
There's no vulgar scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Or should I say inappropriate scenes?
Sure.
We took all of our kids to watch it.
Mm.
Because I think it's something our children need to be aware of as well. And I
Wow.
don't think they're teaching it in our schools. But this movie is called The Sound of Freedom. The Sound of Freedom, guys. This movie was actually created over 5 years ago. But Disney owned the rights to the movie.
And
Yes.
they weren't going to put it out.
I said Disney.
Yeah.
So I'm going to read this insert. My wife wrote this. And I'm just going to read it. And she was inspired by somebody else. And I have some of his postings in here as well. It says that God's children are not for sale. Sound of Freedom. That's kind of like the tagline. God's children's not for sale. Because they asked the guy in the movie, why are you doing this? Why did you give up your investigation job and all this? He said, because God's children's not for sale. He says, the U.S. is the top country. The United States of America is the top country for people to come for child sex slavery, guys. And also the top for consumers. This is completely unacceptable. The more we allow these pedophiles to change the names of the sin, the more we're grooming children and leading them right into their hands. It's time to wake up and start rioting and fighting for the things that matter the most, which is our kids. Disney owns the right to the film with no plan to release it. This was in the beginning. Angel Studios bought the rights. So Angel Studios, like angel investors, right? So it's a bunch of private investors that come together to raise money to actually fund the endeavor. They took it to Amazon. Amazon turned it down, took it to Netflix. They got turned down. Decided to pre-sell tickets and was able to get it in 2,600 theaters and beat out Disney's Indiana Jones on July 4th. So Indiana Jones, it cost Indiana Jones $294.7 million to create that movie. Sound of Freedom, $15 million budget.
Oh my gosh.
And Indiana Jones was released in 4,600 theaters. Sound of Freedom, 2,600. Indiana Jones on July 4th weekend collected $11.5 million. Sound of Freedom, $14 million.
Wow. That's crazy.
Think about that.
That's crazy.
It's the reason why this movie hit me so hard is I've been to a couple different countries. My years in the military, and I never saw child sex trafficking, but I saw adult sex trafficking. Korea, we call them juicy girls. We have Russians, Filipinos. What would happen is when I was explaining to my wife this is when you would sit down with them and ask them stories and stuff like that, they're like, hey, I signed up for a modeling agency. They flew me out here and they took my passport as soon as I landed. And now they're having to work to get their passport back. And by that time, they're done with. And if you see it in the movie, you'll see modeling agencies. They're getting these young kids thinking they're going to be models. They're posing. They're putting their photos online. I don't know. I guess some black market type underground sites and stuff. And these pedophiles go there and they find out who they want. And then all these different drug deals happen country to country. It's sick because these kids are the world's next generation of leaders.
Yeah, it's the world's hope.
And these kids are helpless. They rely on adults to teach them, to train them, to lead them. They trust. And the moment something happens to one of these kids, the trust is broken. you've ruined that person for the rest of their
Rest
life.
of their life. You got trust issues.
And being a father of, I got 5 boys and 2 girls. I couldn't imagine coming home to an empty bed one day because somebody took my kids. And now, however they're doing this, I don't know. But one thing I'll tell you is teach your kids how to protect themselves.
Yeah.
Get them in jiu-jitsu, some sort of martial arts. Teach them how to shoot a weapon.
And teach them about this stuff that happens
Yes.
behind the scenes. They need to be exposed to this, because if they're not, they could fall victim to that. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like while still protecting them, their eyes, their mind, letting them know that this is a real thing behind the scenes, because the world is not going to tell you about this.
Correct. One big thing is awareness.
Yeah.
And one thing I had a conversation with my kids are like when they're walking, they're just walking, looking at their phones. They're not aware of their surroundings.
Sure.
And I said, kids, there's a time to be on the games and on your phone. It's not while you're walking. You always have to be aware of your surroundings. You got to pay attention. I'm what they call a people watcher.
Sure.
So I'm always aware of who's in the room, where the exits are.
Of course.
I always know, because I feel like I'm the protector, and if something goes wrong, I'm the one that's going to have to fix it and protect everybody else in there. And
something interesting I saw real quick before we go, because we got about just a few minutes before we got to cut this off. Out of hundreds of reviews, how can you have negative reviews about this movie who's trying to shed light on a disgusting culture that's happening right before our eyes, that the mainstream media doesn't want to admit, Hollywood doesn't want to admit, but you have people reviewing this like the major Roger Ebert, you have Rotten Tomatoes, all those, Rolling Stone, bashing this movie and saying box office triumph for QAnon believers. They're calling it trash. They're calling it conspiracy theories.
correct.
How does that even happen in America when this is a fact of the matter topic that is actually happening, bona fide, verified, factual information out there, but people are still trying to trash it? That's what
you
I
got
don't
you got
understand.
CNN, the major news outlet, trying to trash it and say, "Oh no, that's not real stuff." It's because the government officials, these billionaires, the people with money, they will get found out. It's the
Exactly.
same reason they still haven't dropped the list for Epstein Island.
Right.
This is the shit that was fucking taking place, excuse my language, that was taking place, and the people that we bowed down to and watching the movie theaters, they were the ones on
And
the
everybody
island
knew about it.
doing this, and nobody wants to say anything. It's hush hush. This video will probably be taken down.
Yeah.
Just because we're talking about
Yeah.
it. And it's
That being said, guys, we are on Rumble as well. So if this does get taken down on YouTube, we have a backup channel on Rumble. Just search for the Legacy Syndicate podcast.
yeah, it's guys, you have to be vocal. You have to lead yourself, lead your family, and lead those that are willing to follow you guys. But it's going to take some courage. It's going to take some commitment. It's going to take you having a big desire to win and succeed, and truly believe in the human race, guys. Stop just worrying about your freaking self and start worrying about those people that are around you. My friend, that is a true life of significance, and that's how you're going to be remembered. Unless you just want to be a gravestone in the yard, in some yard where all the weeds are built up and nobody's cutting the grass, and then you're forgotten about in a generation, my friend. So it's when we left the theater, I said, "What can I do
Right.
to help this?" And the key is, when you have money, you can help solve a lot of things.
Yeah.
And
So what can you do? Make
that's
money.
it.
Make money.
Make money, and your 9-to-5 job is not going to allow you to do that.
Yeah.
It'll help you pay your bills, but anything besides that, it's not going to let you do that. You got to start a side hustle, turn it into your main hustle, and go out there and solve problems.
Make money, impact a generation. Go see that movie. Let us know in the comments.
Sound of Freedom.
Let us know in the comments what you thought about that movie. If this video's still up, if not, check us out on Rumble. But reach out to us on social media. We're going to be talking about some real stuff over the next couple weeks, couple months, and we're not going to hold back, because I think these types of conversations need to be had. So, with that being said, Coach, I appreciate your time. Short podcast today,
Appreciate you.
but hopefully it was impactful.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys in the next video. God bless.